Hey, what's cracking, everybody out there? This your boy, Mr. Pound for Pound himself. It is going down. You know what I mean? Hey, we're talking about the fight that's coming up. It's going to be a great fight. Mr. Manny PACMAN Pacquiao against the man himself. They've had two brawls. They've had two great historic fights. Juan Manuel Marquez. I can't wait for this fight. I think it's going to be a very good fight. It's going to be a great fight. This is going to be the cap of their, trilogy. It might even go into a fourth fight depending on what happens. I can't wait. It's going to be November 12th this year. It is going down at the MGM Grand, Las Vegas, Nevada. And, excuse me, it's for the WBO welterweight title. It's at a catch weight of 144 pounds. And I can't wait to see it. I know the world can't wait to see it, but I definitely can't wait to see it. I love both of these guys. Both of these guys are definitely two of my favorite fighters all time. I mean, they're definitely there in my list. Juan Manuel Marquez, numerous accomplishments in his career, great fighter. And, of course, I mean, the man of the hour, Manny Pacquiao. I mean, you can't deny the man. He's obviously number one pound for pound for a reason. If you guys out there want to say, okay, tied number one pound for pound with Floyd Mayweather, you could say that too. But I'm giving you my pre-fight. This is what I think is going to happen, my prediction. Like I said, if you guys want to get at me, send me some replies, comments. I'll comment back. We'll talk, we'll chat it up a little bit. And I'll always respond to people, so I'm always up for conversation, no problem, guys. So let me go ahead and just break down Manny Pacquiao's we'll just look at his last four fights. His last four fights, obviously, were Miguel Cotto, Joshua Clottey, Margarito, and Shane Mosley. Okay, all great performances. The Cotto fight I thought was a really good showing. I did think Cotto was going to be stronger. He did shine in that fight. He proved that, hey, I'm Manny Pacquiao, I'm stronger than you, and we're going to go toe-to-toe. I'm going to bang you out. He did just that. Joshua Clottey openly admitted he was scared, and that's pretty much why he lost. Antonio Margarito, I mean, speed did the thing right there. It was just obvious. It was speed, it was movement, and that's pretty much what broke Margarito down. Too much speed, too much footwork, and that was it. Too much punch workout, too. Shane Mosley, I don't know what happened there. I really don't know what happened in the Shane Mosley fight. I don't even really want to comment on that fight because I don't know. I mean, people could say, Shane's old, this, that, and the other. I've seen a lot of jobs in boxing, and I've seen a lot of paid fights to make other fights happen. I'm not going to discredit Manny Pacquiao and say, okay, that looked like a paid fight, but that didn't look like Shane Mosley. And it didn't even look like a shot Shane Mosley. That looked like either a really paid Shane Mosley. They got a nice check and just said, okay, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to run and just take some shots, collect my payday, and just shut up about it. Because we all know Shane's he's a fighter. No matter how hard of a hitter you are, Shane's a fighter. But I love Pacquiao. I love Shane, so I'm going to leave it at that. And, on the flip side, we got Juan Manuel Marquez. You know what I'm saying? His last fight was against a guy named something Ramos. I don't even remember. He knocked the dude out so damn quick. And it was in Mexico. I didn't really care. I saw the fight. I knew it was a tune-up. And he just blasted the guy out of there. So, beautiful showing. Good tune-up. Fight prior to that was Katsitis. That was a war. I saw that fight. That was a TKO in 9. Marquez was down in round 3 vicious. You know what I mean? I thought he was badly hurt. Came back, Marquez style, fought it out, did his thing, and, prevailed with the victory. Prior to that was Juan Diaz, another good fight, high output, high punch fight, won that fight, unanimous decision. Prior to that was Floyd Mayweather Jr. He lost that, pretty clean. He went down in the second round and lost that on a unanimous to Floyd, which we all kind of, knew that was going to happen. Floyd's just too quick and he's too big. He's just too big. So we knew that was going to happen. But going into this fight, I have some good views. Now, the first fight, I know these fights create a lot of controversy and a lot of stir between people. And it just really depends on what type of fight fan you are. It depends on how you looking at fights. It depends on whether or not you like judging a fight by the point system, the scores, the judges, and if you want to do it based on points or you want to do it based on the actual fight. And what I mean by that is, to be honest, people, pro boxing is a lot different than amateur boxing, okay? Amateur boxing is strictly points because there's no star power. There's no real star power in amateur boxing until you get to the Olympics, but even there, they're not that biased as they are in the pros. pros, it's not just about points. It's about star power. It's about what you did in the ring to the other guy. It's about points also, but it's not just points is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? If I go in there and rock a guy with some punches and I'm hurting him, I'm busting him up, he's bleeding, and I'm knocking him down all over the place, and then he comes back and lands some good shots, or lands some pitter patter stuff and gets some points, it doesn't mean he's going to win the fight. Not in the pros. But if he lands more punches than me in the amateurs, for sure he'll win the fight, but not in the pros. It's just not like that. And so people look at the first fight and say, well, Pacquiao had him down 3 times, in the first fight, but Marquez came back, was beating him the whole fight. I like to stop people right there and say, whoa. He wasn't beating him the whole fight. You act like the first round was the only round that Pacquiao won. Like, it wasn't just like Pacquiao won the first fight and it wasn't like Pacquiao just won the first round with the 3 knockdowns and then lost, 11 straight. That wasn't the case. You don't understand how hard it is to come back from 3 knockdowns. I mean, that's a big point deficit. Not only do you got to convince the judges that you're not hurt, but you got to convince the judges that you deserve to win. I think Marquez did great. I thought he made a great comeback. It was valiant. It showed pride. It showed courage. I think the draw was decent. I actually, when I was watching the fight, I either told my friend, I said, hey, it's either a draw or they're going to give it to Pacquiao. Either way, I'd be happy either way. It doesn't really matter. But it was a beautiful fight. It was a great fight, and what's said was said. What's done is what was done. It was done, and the decision was, it was a good decision. So, but the second fight in the rematch was a little different. I have a lot of people saying, well, it was a split decision loss, and they only gave it to Pacquiao because of star power and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, man, you gotta go back and watch the fight. I mean, he sat Marquez down on his butt. And anytime you sit a guy down on their butts, I mean, that you gotta understand, the judges are right at ringside, okay? They're watching the fight. They're people, they're human beings. They're just as excited as you are. They're just as excited as the fans are. So when a guy goes down, I mean, they're automatically going to side on the guy who knocked him down, which is Pacquiao. So that's another thing people got to understand. It's like, you got to understand these judges. You got to understand just people in general. You know what I mean? So granted, Marquez made them close fights. Yes, he did make them close fights, but he didn't really do the spectacular things that you need to do in close fights to win them. Like, the first fight was close, but what happened? Marquez went down 3 times, so people remember that. People say, oh my God, that was a close fight. We don't know which way to go. They remember the knockdowns. Then people watch the second fight and they go, oh my God, that was another great fight. Which way do we go this time? It's so close. But they remember Marquez going down in the second fight. And then they also remember the first fight. Hey, he went down. Man, Pacquiao be sitting him down. Like, that's what people get ingrained in their minds. So it's like, to me, I don't see what the big hubbub was about the first 2 fights. I thought Pacquiao, if he got the win, cool. Because it was so close. It was just like, in my eyes, I give it to the guy who looked a little more spectacular. Marquez did good work. He did good work. But like I said, he didn't put Pacquiao down. He didn't sit him down. And in my eyes, I mean, in really close fights and fights with some kind of controversy, the things that stand out in the fight are going to be the telling factors. That's going to be what the judges say, I'm going to give it to this dude, or I'm going to give it to this guy. You know what I mean? It's just things like that. So that's my opinion on those fights. I could go deeper into it, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the third fight. And my prediction on this fight, here it goes. Thank you for bearing with me for the first 9 minutes. Sorry about that. My prediction is... That was drums. I was trying to simulate. Never mind. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, I personally predict another great fight. I think this is going to be a good showing. Now, Marquez is 38 years old, okay? Pacquiao's 32, and a lot of people are going to... If Pacquiao beats him, this is what I don't want. I don't want people to just shoot Marquez down, because number 1, he's a great fighter. Number 2, he's going to be all-time. Definitely in there in the all-time rankings. And number 3, he's 38. But number 4, Bernard Hopkins is damn near 50 years old. So, I don't think age really matters anymore these days. We have supplements, we have better nutrition, we have things to keep our guys going longer. The only thing that I'll give Marquez is he's been battle tested. He's been in a lot of wars, so has Manny Pacquiao. He's been in a lot of wars too. So it's kind of you're tugging and pulling when you're trying to look at things. But my prediction, sorry people, Manny Pacquiao, sorry to make you wait, Manny Pacquiao is my prediction. I do predict another great fight. It's going to be great for how long it lasts. I predict this time he'll stop Marquez. I just think that at 144, it's a good catch weight. I think it's a good catch weight in between. Marquez has fought, in welterweight before, so Pacquiao is up there too, but he's not a real welterweight. We all know that. 144, I think, will be a strong, quick weight for Manny, and I think that's going to be the telling tale. I think Marquez is still a small guy. And Manny is too. But I think Manny is a stronger small guy. As to where Marquez, I don't think he's as strong as Manny, being a small guy. But, people like to say Manny's the bigger guy. He's not the bigger guy. He's the stronger guy. But he's not a real big guy. He's not a big dude. So I think it's going to come down to speed, reflexes, and punching power. I really do. I think Manny's punching power has gone up. He's put those hands on some really big dudes, and they've hurt. I mean, it's shown. You know what I mean? He's put those hands on Cotto, Margarito, Clottey, Mosley, Hatton, De La Hoya. Those are some bigger guys. Those are guys that are way bigger than Marquez. He put those hands on those guys and hurt them. I don't see Marquez hurting any of those guys. So, with that being said, I do see a knockout victory for Manny Pacquiao. It will be a good fight. Marquez will never be in a boring fight. He gets knocked down, he gets up. He has beautiful combinations, he has beautiful technique, and he has punching power of his own. So he'll be in there for a while. He might even catch Manny with some good punches. He might even stun Manny Pacquiao. But I don't think he has the intangible units to beat a Manny Pacquiao anymore, or if he ever did. He didn't knock him down then. I don't think he'll knock Manny down now. He might, but it's the ring of it's the theater of the unexpected. Anything can happen. But do I think it's gonna happen? No. I don't think I think Manny's a little too strong, a little too fast, a little too coordinated. He's gotten better with Freddie Roach. He's getting better. He's only 32 years old. I'd say he's got at least another 3 to 4 years of prime Pacquiao, and I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be a great performance for Manny Pacquiao, and I think it's going to seal the deal on this trilogy, and we might even see Juan Manuel Marquez retire that night. And if he does, hey, you retired against a great fighter, Manny Pacquiao, who's going to go on to probably win, numerous other fights and become a bigger name than he already is. So, but like I said, the only chance Marquez really has is to stay in the pocket and try to run some combinations, because Manny's defense does lack here and there. It does get sloppy and it does open up. And we all know that Juan Manuel Marquez is a beautiful counterpuncher. Crisp punches, beautiful Mexican technique, Mexican style fighting. Maybe in a different body, that style in a different body beats Pacquiao. Let's take all the tools and the style and the techniques and throw him in a Canelo Alvarez type body and then meet at a catch weight. I think you beat Pacquiao. But that's not the case. And we can't make up a what if situation. The case is Marquez. He's a great fighter. He's a legendary fighter. But I think Manny Pacquiao has his number. And I do think in this fight, I don't want to say it'll be like one-sided blowout, but it'll be a good fight. It'll be an exciting fight. And I do think that Manny Pacquiao will come out with the victory. And I personally believe it'll be a knockout. And if he doesn't knock him out, I think it would be solely based on respect for Marquez. If, he goes in there, kind of like he had for Shane Mosley. When he was hitting Mosley and he's like, why isn't this, he kept looking at the referee like, what are you going to do? Type stuff like that. Like, Pacquiao's a respectful guy, So unless he comes out, we don't know what's going to happen in the process before the fight, but we do know that Fight Camp 360, things are going to happen. Things might be said and tempers might go different. Fight time might come and they might not like each other. Things might happen during Fight Camp 360 and there might be bad blood. We don't know. It's, it's close to the fight, but it's not that close yet. So, we'll see. Like I said, once again, guys, shoot me your comments. Shoot me what you think. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right. In the world of boxing, there really is no right or wrong. It's all predictions and it's all what you think and experience. But from what I've seen, out of the 24 rounds they've boxed, they say on paper Marquez won more rounds, but Pacquiao Pacquiao won both fights, and he won the fights for a reason. You know, some people could say, oh, he won it because of his name, but other people will say, you know, he won it because he banged him up pretty nice. You know what I mean? Banged him up pretty bad and knocked him down, sat him down, made impressions on the judges. So it's either way, you know, depending on the way you want to go is depending on how you're going to see it. But I personally think for the third fight, this coming up fight, I got my prediction. I'll say it again. It will be Manny Pacquiao by knockout or technical knockout, and it will be late. It'll be late. It'll be, you know, mid rounds to late. He's not going to go in there and blow him out like he did Hatton, but he'll break him down. You know, he'll break him out. The speed and the strength will be too much for Marquez, I think, at this point, and he'll end up breaking him down somewhere in the middle rounds to the late rounds of the fight. And it's going to be a great fight. I hope you guys catch it. And like I said, get back at me. Let me know what you think. All right, guys. Have a good time.